While many teams are getting better this offseason, especially in the East, we will see teams move up and down the standings into a brand new era of basketball. However, there is one team that has fallen behind and is completely clueless on what they are doing. This franchise has been terrible as long as I've been alive, except for one magical year in 2023. This team is the Sacramento Kings. In today's video, we will talk about their failures and explain why this team might have the worst future in the league. The Kings, after going 22-60, tied for the worst in the West, got the 7th pick in the NBA draft, and they got college phenom Darius Acuff. They were not intentionally tanking until the end of the season. However, they built the clunkiest roster ever imaginable and found themselves in this terrible position. They have spent $200 million on the roster for 22 wins. Heading into this season, the Kings look to maybe sneak back into the play-on. However, that season has been terrible for the Kings. They got the worst lottery and injury luck, and let's be real, no one out of Sacramento believed they were going to do any damage in the West. Their front office has proven time and time again to be completely incompetent when it comes to team construction and evaluating talent on the roster. On top of that, they have been too stubborn to move on from the star players when their value is at their highest. This has now resulted in them being arguably the worst position in the entire league with no feasible way out. While many may argue the Pelicans might be in a worse spot, at least they have some trade value attached to their team with Herb and Trey. The Kings are in the worst team in the NBA and have no hope outside of Darius Acuff. Let's talk about Darius Acuff for a bit. He was an absolute star in college for Arkansas. He was an electric scorer and a gifted offensive player. He has the skills to be a special offensive engine in this league. Despite him struggling a little bit in summer league, he was still able to play well towards the end. However, he has complete liability on defense and is disengaged and is a very small guard. I don't think he can be a number one on a championship team. Yes, we just saw this with Jalen Brunson with the Knicks, but the Knicks have a great infrastructure around him. The Kings are the furthest thing away from having a great infrastructure with terrible surrounding pieces for Acuff. I'm scared with this terrible defense and spacing is going to hurt Acuff's development in the NBA. Look at what happened to Keegan Murray in Sacramento. Acuff has the skills to be a very good point guard in this league, but I'm scared for his development in the league because he's in the worst situation in the NBA. With DeRozan off the team, the spacing gets a little bit better, but this is still a terrible situation. Acuff is very talented, but I'm worried that he'll be ruined in Sacramento. I'm hoping he doesn't get ruined in Sacramento, and if he does, the Kings might just trade him in 2 to 3 years anyways. Infamously, they traded away Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis in 2022. 4 years later, and it's a complete loss. Sabonis is one of my personal favorite players of this era, but outside of helping them make the playoffs in 2023, this trade hasn't done much for the Kings. On the other side, Halliburton has turned into a superstar and one of the best point guards in the league, helping the Pacers reach the finals in 2025. Coming back from injury this offseason, he's looking to do the same thing again for the Pacers this season. De'Aaron Fox was their franchise point guard for about 8 years, and has been a homegrown star after the Cousins era. Fox was loved by Sacramento and looked to have broken out in 2023, where he helped lead the Kings to their first playoff run in forever. However, after a few years later, he got traded to the Spurs and made the finals in 2026. While he wasn't really impactful in the finals, he still found much more success in 2 years than he ever did with 8 with the Kings. He faced his former head coach Mike Brown, who coached the Knicks and won the NBA championship this past season. Mike Brown was fired in late 2024, and less than 2 years later, he won a ring with the Knicks, where he helped revolutionize their offensive philosophy. Lastly, Davion Mitchell is a great perimeter defender and is a good point guard for the Heat. Now he plays with Giannis, hoping to compete for a championship. He is once drafted by the Kings. Moral of the story, your NBA career takes off when you leave the Kings. Outside of all this bad news for the Kings, there is not one team they are better than in the Western Conference. The bottom dwellers with them and the Jazz and the Grizzlies just drafted their new franchise guys and look to be very improved. The Pelicans are the one team that has the potential to be worse than them, but then again they have Zion. Not only do they not have enough talent to compete in the West, they also have 0 players to get excited for in the future besides Darius Acuff and Maxey Renon. All the other teams in the West have players to get excited about and have the potential to elevate. Even with the foundation of Acuff and Maxine for the future, how strong is that foundation if there are liabilities on defense and need to develop? I don't even trust the Kings to surround them with good supporting pieces in the future anyways. Are we looking at another Fox and Sabonis pairing whose ceiling is a first-round exit? With making little to no changes to the roster in an ever-changing league, it's no surprise to suggest that they will be one of the worst teams in the league again. However, unfortunately enough, they might face terrible lottery luck again with these new odds and could end up with a top pick outside of the top 10. The reality is, the Kings are directionless in a league where picking direction is life or death for an NBA team. The roster looks like they're trying to make the playoffs when in reality they aren't even close to that at all. They need to have a hard look in the mirror and trade Sabonis, Levine, and other veterans like Malik Monk to contenders or other teams for young capital. If not, they're clearly going to be left behind by the rest of the league. The Kings have been stuck in a perceptual cycle of misery, and it won't end soon until they wake up and fix this thing. Unfortunately for Kings fans, I don't think that will happen anytime soon. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a like, and subscribe if you enjoyed.